my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's a Patreon pick. It's our good friend, Mr. Matt Bates, a fellow Vegas lover like myself, and he's there before me in a few weeks. He has picked, Dave, a movie from 2002, a British action horror film starring, I'm not going to say the directors and producers like I did last time, Sean Pertwee, Liam Cunningham, Kevin McKidd, which I've watched millions of times, Dave, in Grey's Anatomy, so I know exactly who this guy is because Sam loves that show, and Emma Cleesby. So this one is called Dog Soldiers, Dave. So I know we talked a little bit last week, but do you remember first seeing this one?
Yeah, so I don't think I'd necessarily heard about this movie, but it was one of those that Love Film sent me through. So, I don't know, I spoke last week, but in case anyone hadn't listened to the episode, you used to select a list of a bunch of films, and, you know, you'd have your new releases. It's like, hey, do you want to select any of these? And then, you know, you stick on a bunch of things, you have your top picks. But basically, if they don't have them in, they'll send you the next in the list, is the theory. It took a while to figure out, well, actually just don't have much in your list, and then they tend to send you your top picks. But yeah, so that's how it came through. And I watched it, and I just remember thinking, I really enjoyed it. Now, I think I told you, you know, I was in the RAF cadets when I was younger, kind of had a mind for going into the military. Now, I was talking to some other people about this. I don't know what it was like for you, Chris, but when you're growing up in the fucking 80s in a shithole fucking part of northern England, right, there just aren't many opportunities. I just remember growing up, and there was, I didn't think anything other than, wow, if I fucking join the army or something, you know, you go out and see a bit of the world, and it was a route out, if you like. Just nothing else was really on the table. So that was the only reason why I kind of thought maybe my life would be in the military. But going into the cadets, I found out I fucking hate authority. I just could not fucking be doing with being told off by some fucking jumped up shit drill instructor or something. I just didn't get on with it at all. But the idea leading up to joining the cadets, and, you know, it's kind of, these ideas are going out on training exercises and stuff. I was sort of really into it. I really liked the idea of that. But yeah, it wasn't for me at all. But when I watched this, when they, certainly the first third of the movie, first act, if you like, it kind of almost took me back to that mindset where I thought, oh yeah, I thought this might be my life. But and then I thought, for a British movie, I thought the effects were really good. I was not used to seeing this level of effects, you know, from British movies. They kind of made a bit of a comeback, didn't they, with things like Four Weddings and a Funeral, but a completely different sort of movie. When you're doing a genre movie, you know, you do expect you know, the effects to be good and stuff. And the American movies were always so much better. But I just remember being impressed with how the wolves looked and stuff. And yeah, really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, was glad when this one was picked, because I haven't watched it for years.
Well, Dave, and it's interesting because, you know me, I've never seen this sort of movie. I would have never even heard of it, Dave. And also, just that point of interest, the full movie, for some reason, is on YouTube as well, which usually is
really?
Yes, the whole movie's on YouTube. So, which I may have watched, Dave, at varying speeds. Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I think I've seen bits of it, you know, like when you tape on Channel 4 or like the best horror movies or whatever, or the rundown of the UK. So these bits of it felt familiar. And when I watched the trailer last week, after we'd recorded, I was thinking, I might have seen this one. Because Sam does like a horror movie, and I'm thinking, is it one of these? And then I met Matt last year in Vegas, Dave, lovely guy, and I'm thinking, see, try to stitch me up here. My mate Matt, of all people, try to stitch me up with a horror movie, Dave. So when they started, I know we're not into the review yet, but when we started watching, I was like, no, I've never seen this. And then I just kept thinking, these people have all been on TV shows and Game of Thrones, and especially Grey's Anatomy, that Scottish guy, Kevin McKidd, whatever he's called. Like, Sam loves that show. If I walk in, she's usually got it on, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And he plays an ex-army veteran in that, which is a bit weird. But anyway,
He was in Trainspotting as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah. Sorry, yeah, he was in that. I think I mentioned it then as well, didn't he? You're right. But no, Dave, I was just thinking, is this Year of the Stitch-Up or what? Because the review scores are good on it. It's quite a well-respected movie. People say it's actually the best werewolf movie ever. So I was sort of thinking, is it? And the budget was only 2.3 million, to be fair, and it made double that at the box office. So I'll give it that. But yeah, I literally was side-eyeing it, trying to watch it, going, this is a fucking stitch-up, is it? Is it a stitch-up? Is it going to be glorious? Is it going to be like, an absolute classic? But we'll save that, Dave, till after the trailer.
Well, all I'll say is Santa Sangra was very highly regarded in terms of the reviews.
Yeah, John Hammond. Yeah.
Chris, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
In a remote part of Scotland, where the sheep outnumber the people.
And everyone's idea of a tactical retreat is heading back to the pub. That was supposed to be Scottish, Dave, but it's got Irish. I can't do a Scottish accent. Need a bit of prepping.
A squad of British soldiers.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Are about to face their greatest enemy yet.
I'll do one of the greatest Scottish accents ever, Dave. No, I can't do it. Let me just think. Hold on. Right, here we go. I can't do it. I was going to try and do Christopher Lambert. I was trying to do the greatest Scottish accent ever. You know what I mean? But anyway, no, not people. Fucking hell, Scottish accent's beyond me, Dave. What's up with me? Werewolves, hairy ones, with pedigree nation and the entire squad put together. I don't know what this accent is.
Only Scottish?
Led by Sean Pertwee in a role that made him a national treasure by being gutted like a Sunday roast.
Kevin McKidd, fresh off Trainspotting, now stuck in the woods shouting, "Sir, they've nicked Private Terry!"
They came for a training exercise
and ended up trapped in cottage with more dog hair than your nan's living room rug.
It's a film with action, suspense, and more blood than a GCSE science experiment gone wrong.
Werewolves who don't mess about, 7 foot tall, full moon, and apparently trained in Krav Maga.
And starring a mysterious woman with questionable motives and the world's least helpful accent.
Don't go into the barn, she says, after everyone's gone into the barn. Cheers, love.
Exploding cows, bayonets, football metaphors, and a man trying to superglue his insides shut.
This is Britain's answer to aliens. If aliens had less marines and more tea bags.
Dog Soldiers, where the real horror is no mobile signal.
Oh, and we're going to come back to that. There's nothing to do with the trailer. We're coming back to that. And the biggest twist, it's actually really bloody good. I didn't write that. Whoever's put that in the script, I didn't write
Whoever.
that.
Who could it be? Who could it put?
Coming soon to a dodgy VHS shelf near you between 28 Days Later and Shaun of the Dead, with a kebab stain on the cover.
We've reviewed it and still don't trust bombs.
Because sometimes the most terrifying creature is a Yorkshireman with no sausage.
A couple goes camping in the Scottish Highlands. The woman gives the man a silver letter opener as a present. Shortly afterward, they are killed in their tent by unseen assailants. Meanwhile, a soldier named Cooper runs through a forest in North Wales. He attacks his pursuers but is overwhelmed and wrestled to the ground. It is revealed that Cooper is trying to join a special forces unit, but fails when he refuses to shoot a dog in cold blood. He's returned to his unit by Captain Richard Ryan. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Right. Let's get into it, Dave. So, you recognise a lot of the characters. The soldier unit, let's say Kevin McKidd at the start. Well, fucking dog gets it. Fucking Lassie gets fucking taken out at the start, Dave. We don't see it. It's off camera. It's about the initiation ceremony. Obviously, he's been doing this. I mean, obviously, that's this sort of thing at the start. Is that SAS special, and they sort of try and break it down. What's that like? Celeb SAS thing on Channel 4, and they say, like, they'll leave you for 36 hours and they're hunting you, and they'll try and break you down, and they interrogate you, and it's all about basically who lasts the longest, doesn't it? Without, like, absolutely destroying them. Talk about PTSD days to join the SAS, because you've got to be the best of you can't be broke, can you, by the enemy? So I sort of get that. The dog thing I thought was nonsense. So obviously straight away, Liam Cunningham from like Game of Thrones, various other movies, you're thinking, well, he's a bastard, he's the baddie, and Kevin McKidd's not, he's the goodie. And then it pans to Sean Pertwee's fucking, basically they've got about as much believability as an army unit as fucking Dad's army. Captain Mannering had more fucking about him than these fuckers.
Don't panic.
And I never really watched Gotham, but he'll always be Alfred. If you've watched Gotham, the fucking, and we said it in the football analogies at the start. I literally wanted the fucking werewolves to come and eat me, Dave. Fucking load of bollocks. You've got two Geordies there. The Geordie lad, right? And I know 2002, England had Sven. We were in the it was the 5-1 against Germany. We had the World Cup, everything, and it was a highlight. I remember having the reversible England shirt. He's like, where did we play football, Dave? It was blue on the inside, red on the outside, but you can long sleeve one. He used to wear it, JJB. And so I was well into England at that point. I think this was my jumping off point for England after this World Cup. But he's talking about England, the Geordie. There's no fucking way. If anyone knows a true Geordie Newcastle fan, they absolutely love Newcastle. And he's talking about this match, and it's so false. And it's so... My toes were literally fucking curling under them, Dave. I was like, this... And I know it shouldn't matter, but the dialogue is terrible. They've got no chemistry about themselves. They're supposed to be like this, army unit. All right, it's a bit of a training exercise, but they're supposed to be in, sync together. You can clearly see that none of these people know each other, but we're supposed to, and I know it's a film, they're supposed to be acting, but they don't do a good job because the writing, the way they are, the banter, and I know, I hate the word banter, but the fucking jokes and that between them are terrible. They're like written, like you were saying about writing on a fucking crayon. I think they wrote it on the back of a postage stamp. It's absolutely terrible, this movie. It's fucking rubbish, honestly, and I'm sat there going, oh my God, and it's on for like, it was on 1 hour 40, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, Matt Bates. Great lad, Matt, good friend of mine. I'm like, you absolutely stitching me up here. And I don't think he is trying to stitch me up. I think it probably is one of his favourite movies. It's a classic in a lot of horror movie fan genres. I bet John Hammond probably likes this one. He loves a good horror movie, but Dave, it's terrible. And Sean Pertwee is not convincing as the leader of a fucking army, fucking group or whatever he's supposed to be. It's absolutely bobbins, this movie.
Well, now what I'll say is, right, I think this is going to be better, because sometimes, when we agree too much, it is less fun, at least for me. But so I enjoy this movie, and I liked it when I first watched it. I've watched it a few times since, but not for years now. So it's good to come back, and I was like, how's it going to stand up? And I still enjoyed it. I do have to concede, though, on the dialogue. I don't know what it is. So the guy who wrote it and directed it is a guy called Neil Marshall, who is actually a Geordie, Chris. So I think he probably knows more about being a Geordie than maybe you do.
Yeah.
So, and I think, I've got Geordies who, the thing is, when it's say a World Cup on, everyone now, especially, I think fandom has moved more and more towards clubs. You were saying about you probably before me. I Yeah. It might have been around the same time, or maybe 2006-ish, when that sort of golden generation sort of didn't win anything under Sven, and I probably moved more and more towards just focusing on the club. And then I don't know what it is about social media as well. It's like I can't be taking jip off all these people through the week and then pretend we're all one big happy family. It just does my head in supporting England now. But I can imagine at this time, they would be following. Was it 2002? Was that around the time we beat Germany 5-1?
Roughly, or was it 2001? It was his friend, though, wasn't it? He was the man.
It was roughly around that time, wasn't it? So I can imagine, the essence of what he's going for there. But yeah, this Neil Marshall, fucking hell, his dialogue is terrible. And I don't normally notice dialogue that much, unless it's, I don't know, we're watching a fucking Santa Sangre or something, something where it really jumps out, something where, or like an old kung fu movie or something like that. I don't really tend to notice the dialogue in terms of if it's good or bad, but it did jump out at me this time. I thought, oh, fucking hell, it's so clunky, like loads of it. Even the couple at the start, I think that was the thing. I'd forgotten about how it opened. In my mind, it's just straight into the soldier stuff. But when you see the couple and they get sort of murdered, you see the silver knife. You're like, it's an old Chekhov's gun, isn't it? It's like, oh, right, that's going to appear later on. But yeah, the dialogue between the couple, it's like, oof, that's really bad. And so for me to notice it, and you've obviously noticed it as well, I was like, it must be really shit. So yeah, I still like the movie. I just want to make that clear. But yeah, I think one of the worst things is just the dialogue in this.
Nothing beats that line. For you to notice it, it must be shit. What are you trying to say, Dave?
For me and
no,
for
wait,
me
no.
and
No,
you.
That's what I mean.
You're going to be pulling him up on grammar next.
There are they? Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, that's even right. Anyway, but it's one of them where I think you know what it did? It set my fucking stall out to go, you know what? I want all of you to fucking die in this, basically, because that is shit. And obviously we come across the prick, Captain Ryan, the one who shot the dog, who'd already sort of, they're the SAS group who were doing the exercise again. They've been taken out and savagely killed. He's the only one who's alive.
Mention SAS though, do they?
No, but
Special Forces.
Yeah,
I know it is.
Yeah. You're right. They don't really mention it, but it is, I suppose. But then he's been injured on here, and then they they get back to this fucking, this little house, don't they, in the middle of like the fucking forest, and I'm just like, oh no, it's all based in one place, isn't it? This is like the whole movie's going to be based here. I hate stuff like. I feel claustrophobic. Yeah, this is the budget. And to be fair, I didn't see the budget. Looking at the budget now, respects what they've done, but every single character is just a fucking bellend. Like, I know, like, for the UK, the English accent gets the piss ripped out of it. We always go on about the tea and crumpets. They always have some dick on who sounds like Hugh Grant in these movies, don't they? When they're playing like a butler, like even Alfred, Sean Percy or whatever. They've always got this weird accent, and this weird posh upper class accent, and that's not true. Whether we all sound like that, I don't know. I mean, we do our reality podcast, and we have a lot of people from abroad listen to us, which we were lucky for, like a lot of Americans, and some of them can't tell the difference between being you. And I'm like, well, I'm a fucking, you can clearly see I'm Mancunian. You're to say Ellens, you've got that Liverpool twang about your accent. You're somewhere in between, aren't you? But it's like, I can know the difference between us. But then some people say, I can't ever tell. And I always think like, they're listening to these, and they've all got regional accents, especially the Geordie lad. I mean, he's probably not even a Geordie, Dave. That's what makes me piss.
He's probably some fucking thespian speaking with royal pronunciation.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest, when it comes to stuff like that for actors, and I give total respect, is that the guy who plays Jamie Tart in Ted Lasso is not from Manchester. When he speaks, he is like, he's very, very posh, and he speaks like that, and you're thinking, fuck off. And then he does a top Mancunian accent, which is quite hard to do. And I couldn't believe it, that he wasn't an actual from Manchester. So you do get it, but honestly, it just did me.
What about the bully in the In-Betweeners? He's another one with a really posh accent.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Have you not heard it? The one who cheesed with Emily Attack. The one who yeah. Oh, I didn't realise. So he's another one. Oh my God. Unbelievable. So it's just, and it's jumping a bit to later on, but I was just looking at the top quotes, and I think it makes a point. So when Spoon, who's one of them, and a lot of them, because they've got the same shaven heads, I know they're in the army and stuff, it's just interchangeable for me. But when he's facing down with one of the wolves, he says, "I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp." You fucking wimp. I know. This isn't the 1940s or 50s or something. What fucking squaddy would say that? So, yeah, it just makes you cringe. It just so, and it's weird that I never noticed it before. It's literally on this watch that fucking, just how bad a lot of the lines are. They're just, and I think that's what takes me out, I think, because I do, when you get the horror bits and we do sort of, we have this cat and mouse thing, don't we? You can hear outside, what's outside. Well, it's not a fucking person, is it really? Let's be honest. It sounds like a werewolf or some fucking savage dog or whatever it's supposed to be. But what also takes me out is the calmness of the woman. I mean, isn't she playing the piano at one point or doing something just so random near towards the end? I'm like, she's really calm in these situations, and the continuity makes no sense, because one minute, like, the wolves are trying to get in, or the hybrids, whatever they are, and then there's only so many windows in this cottage, but for some reason every room seems to get a new lot of boarded up or a wardrobe. There's so many wardrobes. I think IKEA would be fucking proud of the amount of fucking flat packs they must have done in this cottage, because every room has got a wardrobe they put against the door. There's hatches everywhere, the windows. Every time. And then you've got them, Dave, classic horror, fucking army, they've got guns, unlimited bullets, by the way. Well, let's be honest, it's unbelievable. But one of them stood at the window, and I'm like, well, you're loading, you're obviously going to get dragged through the fucking window, or the hand's going to come through. What happens? Exactly that. And I'm just, there's loads to this movie, and I can see why people would enjoy it, but my God, I fucking hated every single minute of this. I absolutely hated it. And not because it's a horror, it's the accent, like you said, the band, there's nothing, the cast just do not gel at all. Kevin McKidd isn't convincing either. I just think he's very weak in it. Sean Pertwee's the only one who puts a performance in, and even then, he's not convincing as a lead, like a squadron leader of this, like, military fucking team. Like, God, it's awful. The only thing's weird is that I did read, I'm sure you've read it, is that they didn't use stuntmen. They used dancers, because they wanted the werewolves to be elegant, like how they move. I didn't see any elegance, Dave. I didn't see any elegance at all, but that's what they were going for, which I found bizarre, because you don't see a lot of them. It's all a split second, in it, not because of the budget, a hand through the door. It's only at the end you see a little bit, but even then, it's not like you would go, oh yeah, they're moving really elegantly, or they're chasing him, sort of thing. I must have
switched off for that bit where they were busting some moves.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, ballet, Van Damme. They were doing splits on the worktop and everything. But
can you imagine that? The Van Damme splits, arms folded.
Yeah,
fucking big werewolf there in the corner.
That's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, great idea for a movie, but fucking hell, unbelievable.
Yeah, again, I think I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to say I can see what they were doing. I think the dialogue's terrible, but the idea, the overarching story, I'll maybe give old Neil Marshall there a bit of a pass, because on such a low budget, I mean, about double what Reservoir Dogs cost, by the way, so, there is that. But I think they did a lot with it, and you can see a lot of it, you know, when they're setting up, when they're all just in the woods, basically. You know, you don't need much budget there, you know, and I mean, we've gone to the cottage, but looping back a little bit, I liked the speech actually that Sean Pertwee gave. So when he's talking about being in Afghanistan, and you know, his mate went for the tattoo, and then he got blown up.
Oh yes, yeah.
So for me, that was reminiscent of Quint's, you know, story in Jaws. You know, and it's basically just the three of them on the boat at night, and he's talking about when he was in the war and the ship that got torpedoed, and then all the people ended up in the water and got savaged by tiger sharks night after night. So for me, the whole speech, it was channeling that. Now, don't get me wrong, not a patch on it.
Yeah.
However, appreciated what they were going for, and then it had the cow just come fucking flying out of nowhere, weirdly, but nice little jump scare there.
Well, they played it then cool, didn't they? He's like, oh, a cow's it. Oh, yeah, let's set up camp for the night. Well,
yeah,
a fucking cow is about, it's got to be at least 500-600 fucking kilos or whatever. And it's just flew through the air at their feet. And then, all right, they fire a bit and everything, but it's just, they just fob it off like it's nothing, like it's a fucking pigeon or something. It's at the window or something, you know, and KO'd it, so, which we've all probably seen, or, you know, one of them. It was like, this is a cow. What fucking thing other than a crane has threw a fucking cow at your feet and they're just fobbing it off? That was so
taking it a
ridiculous.
bit too in your stride.
Yeah, honestly, that was brilliant. That was like comedy. I was like doing a Tim off The Office. I'm watching it on my own, but I'm looking like around the room going, is anybody seeing this? What the fuck is going on here? The science of it don't work.
But what I find interesting, I'm sure back in the day, this was billed as kind of, you know, an action horror comedy. And so, and it's not like laugh out loud funny. But when I look at, say, IMDb or Wikipedia, it doesn't mention comedy. So I don't know if I've just got a false memory that it was billed as, you know, a bit of a comedy. But for me, it's intended to be a little bit silly. Because when, like, Sean Pertwee basically gets his fucking guts sliced open, he's dead. Yeah. I don't care what it's in. He should be dead in that moment. And then, you know, they kind of glue him together. It's quite an excruciating sort. I think it's the idea more than the delivery, but I thought he acted it okay. But I guess it's supposed to be that he's he's infected, isn't he? He's a werewolf, so that's why he's not dead. But I think he'd probably have to die and then come back to life or something. But then I guess I'm thinking probably too much into werewolf lore here. But yeah, so it's basically he's got his guts sliced open and he's just like, "Oh, come on, mate," you know, and he's sort of hobbling along. It's like it's so ridiculous. So for me, I don't know if anyone else. Maybe the false memory is I just thought it was a little bit funny, you know, and in a black comedy kind of way. But yeah, I completely misremembered that, I think.
Yeah, I think it isn't a comedy, Dave. I think the jokes are supposed to be. I think maybe it is because of the jokes. Maybe the fucking, as we said about the dialogue, maybe Neil Marshall's bigged it as like a sort of black comedy horror type thing. It's certainly not that. It's not a Dusk Till Dawn type situation, is it? Where, yeah, you've got one film which starts off being, you know, they kidnap the family and all that, and you've got Tarantino being weird, and then all of a sudden we get this full-on vampire, but you've got jokes through it, and even when these people dying, the fucking guy who's got the fucking gun as his dick, you know what I mean, or dick gun, whatever it is, you know, in that, and he lifts his fingers up and he's got a gun there, and he in his crotch and all this sort of thing in Dusk Till Dawn. But in this,
come on, sex machine.
Yeah, sex machine. Yeah, in this though, even the thing when they're trying to get like they're going to get the Land Rover from the garage, and from the garage, from the barn, and they go, I need to do this. We need to actually make a distraction. And now that guy does a runner. These two Geordie lads, I think he's been in Corrie, the smaller one. And he said, yeah, let's make it. Now he's running like he's fucking Linford Christie, right? Let's be honest. Bullshit. The werewolf's going to catch him. They've just threw and fucking javelined a fucking, a load of beef burgers at their feet. Why are they going to fucking not catch this lad? Anyway, he gets in. But what gets me is you've got that like you would see in Predator, which you see where they think they're away, don't they? And then all of a sudden the Predator's there at the side of them. And you've seen other films where they go, you're there, aren't you? Or I'll tell you what he was like, actually. Sorry, Predator's probably, in reference, he's like Jurassic Park with the Velociraptors, where the guy in the first one, that South African hunter, thinks he's got him, doesn't he? He's got the little, he's got the claw there around his neck and all this, and he thinks he's got the raptors, and then he's clever girl and kill him. And that's what they're going for. Now, he's just driven across the yard with a werewolf, apparently, in the back of the Land Rover, and all of a sudden we see the breath, and he goes, you're in the back, aren't you? But then he turns around and goes, you know what? Fuck it, let's have a fight. And I'm like, no, mate, he had enough time to turn around and jump in the back. Why don't you just open the door and make a fucking run for it? This is like a 9-foot werewolf that's got to try and get out of a box of Land Rover, you dick. You watch it.
It's just quietly hiding in the back for ages. And then wait till he knows I'm here. It's going to be classic.
Why is the Land Rover suspension fucking on its arse as we go through the film? It's not. It's fucking bollocks, honestly. It was like, he had enough time to go, let's fucking have it. And I'm like, no, mate. Let's fucking run and see if he can survive. It was just, that didn't make any sense to me. That continuity thing with the vehicle made no sense. But I do think there is some good horror elements to it. It's just the ridiculousness of this never-ending supply of bullets that they've got. It's just constant, innit? Like, they're throwing smokers out and flashbangs and everything, and I'm like, werewolves are not going to be bothered about that. A fucking flashbang, Dave. Like, it's just, I'm not playing Call of Duty, it's just like, so I think, probably, as I'm saying, we're laughing, it probably is a comedy for all the wrong reasons, and I'd see the opinion, but for me, this was just a terrible, terrible movie put together, and well lower down than the scores show for me personally. This is absolutely awful movie. And even when he turns, Liam Cunningham, fucking hell, we've not even seen it. And then he goes full on Incredible Hulk, doesn't he? Full on under the table. And they're all looking at him now this table's about 3 foot high, 4 foot high, maybe 3 foot high, probably. And they don't see. And the next minute he stands tall. He's as tall as the ceiling, like 8 foot, whatever he is. And it's like, why would you sit there? He's got massive fangs in his mouth. He's got massive fucking claws now scraping the table, but you're going to stand there. You're not going to run. I'm just like, come on. So anyway, I've proper slayed this. I know, Dave. I know people are like, Chris, you dick. It's such a great movie, but honestly, I think Matt's done a great job of stitching me up, whether he meant to or not, I think.
What do you say about the infinite bullets? If gaming has taught me anything, if you walk around the cottage, you will find ammunition hidden everywhere.
Yeah.
You just need to find it in the right room. But and again, I said it, and again, I'm still enjoying this movie, but there are ridiculous things. And like you say, I noticed the werewolf in the back. It just made no sense at all. And the fact that I think what they're going for is, these are hard fucking squaddies, and these are guys who won't, they're going to go down swinging. But even like squaddies and stuff, I'm sure they like to live. And the fact is, it would have been easier. Like, the door was right next to him. So it's not like he was in a situation where he's got to say, fuck it, I've got to go for this. He could have literally opened the door right next to him and legged it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 100%. It just made no sense at all. But I don't think that was quite as ridiculous as Spoon when he's faced with this 9-foot fucking beast. Oh. And then he figures out, I'm going to do a bit of fucking shadow boxing here. Bit of Tybo.
A bloody blank.
And we're going to just, we're going to play gentleman's boxing rules here. So he's not going to rip me to fucking shreds with his claws. I'm going to just give him a jab, jab. Jab, jab. It actually does piss me off, that scene, because it's just so ridiculous.
Well, he would have punched his fangs or something, wouldn't he? And it just got fucking destroyed. I think one of them headbutt one of them, Dave.
But it's fucking 9 foot tall with claws. I mean,
I know, exactly.
You get close enough to get a jab. It's not an actual boxing match where you are both playing the same rules. He gets close enough to you, he's going to put his fucking claws right through you.
Doesn't one of the guys, though, or the other Geordies, he shoots one of the werewolves at the top of the building through the window with a shotgun. And then the fucking werewolf shoot back, take the gun off him and shoot back, and then throw it at his face. I'm sure they fucking fire one back at him. Take it off, it's a bit. It's a weird scene, because I was like, well, they've got massive claws. The finger's probably too big to put it in the trigger, but it's a split second thing, and he ends up on the floor. But the shotgun ends up at his feet, but he shoots it, and the werewolf takes off as if to say, "It's not hurting that, mate," and then fires it back at him. I know the hybrids, the human, but it's not like they're talking or we see them acting as humans. But the werewolves, do we? They are just maniacal. They are totally gone completely. They are werewolves for all intents and purposes. I mean, poor fucking Shep the dog there, that's going all the way through. It gives a bit of a growl. They don't really touch the dog. There's a face-to-face bit. The dog sort of comes to the rescue, and I'm like, that's nonsense. That dog is that again, doesn't make any sense why that dog's there.
And it's weird how they're almost on a travelator or something that takes them further away from the cottage, because I mean it seems like there's hundreds of them, but that cottage scene does go on for what feels like forever. It's not quite half the movie, but they sort of get close, they get shot, but I think there's only 4 plus the woman who, spoiler alert, big twist, she's a werewolf as well.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 or 5 of them, but they'll attack a bit, and then they'll suddenly be away from the cottage. And it's if you've got some ravenous fucking beast and it's trying to get in there, I don't understand what would happen. And again, these squaddies, they have a bit of the Aliens Marines about them as well. It's oh yeah, we're fucking hard as nails, us. And then something happens, it's fucking hell. Let's all split up. Let's all be in separate rooms. Like you say, I'm going to stand with my back to the open window, knowing that there's fucking these monsters out there. Just a lot of it doesn't make sense. But I'm prepared to just park my brain and ignore all of that, because I still do enjoy it, even though it doesn't make any sense.
It's fucking brilliant. It's just brilliantly shit, Dave. It really is. I think the fact that by the end of the movie, obviously Sean Pertwee's character, he reveals he's been sort of bit scraped, whatever, and he's obviously going to be changing, and that's the crescendo, because we, like you said, spoiler alert, we learn that it's in Megan, and then Megan is actually a werewolf, Dave. She's the one who's been letting him into the house. Like I say, the cottage is tiny from the outside, but it's it's a fucking mansion when we're watching it. There's room after room, these little tunnels underneath and everything, and obviously she gets shot in the head and all that. But I think it ends up being that Sean Pertwee's character is the one who saves the day, really. Sergeant Harry G. Wells, because he blows them up. But when he blows them up, Private Cooper's underneath, Kevin. He's under the ground, isn't it? Because there's these tunnels underneath. That building goes up like it's the A-Team. That goes up like it had chuck out about 30 trees as well. And somehow he survives, doesn't it? It's all wooden base. So the
solid bit of floorboard in there.
Exactly. A bit of MDF there, Dave. On the floor. But the wood somehow in this tunnel is impenetrable. And he survives, doesn't he? And it's it's light, and he comes out, and he's walking off, Eddie, and he's fucking I'm the only one who survived. Wait till I tell everyone in the pub about this one. And I was just no, I'm not having this at all. I'm not having any, and I'm not having that nobody. You said in the trailer, about the lack of phone lines. We've watched a lot of films recently where there is no thing regarding telecommunications, is there? You know, like, all right, it's a fucking cottage in the middle of somewhere, but there would have been a phone, there would have been something. Even in 2002, there'd have been mobiles. I know the coverage probably won't this thing it, but it just makes me pissed because we've got
Scottish Highlands. What mobile are you going to get there?
Well, Dave, have you not seen James Bond? He was in the Scottish Highlands. Was it Skyfall? He was in there.
Fucking satellite phone or something, though.
But these are the army, Dave. They would have had satellite phones. They'll have had something. It's just,
it is a problem for horror movies, isn't it? Because, like, a lot of scenarios, it's just like, well, just fucking call someone.
yeah.
They have to engineer somehow some way out so phones aren't a thing. So
I'd tell you what it is. I'm sorry to cut across you. We watched, wasn't me and you. Me and Sam put a horror film she wanted to watch, and it was where to this. Oh no, it wasn't. No, was it me and you? With
Was it
Aaron
Halloween?
Paul and no, what did we watch the other? Was it a late fees one? Was it Aaron Paul where he was what they were? It was
good story, this, Chris.
Yeah, it is. What did we cover on? No, there was something we did. Maybe it was me and you, where Aaron Paul was one of the baddies, and there was that couple in the house, and they ended up like they killed. Oh, it's what we did. Late fees. The two girls, the young girls, who were like sexually attacked, weren't they? And then they ended up being adored.
Oh, fucking hell! It was that. Yes, last house on the left.
Last House on the Left, great bit of podcasting again, Chris, just throwing it out there. But again, lack of communication, Dave. And I'm like, come on, this is bullshit. This was like 2010 or whatever it was. Yo, it's like, don't give me that nonsense. So anyway, I'm just gone off on a tangent, Dave, with horror movies in general, because you know I hate them. But Matt Bates, my friend, you've absolutely done me with this one. Absolutely awful movie.
Should we get into our final review?
Thank God, yeah. So, Matt, big thank you, mate, for picking this one. I think you've done it on purpose, but I could be wrong, and you're going to tell me it's one of the greatest films you've ever seen. So, I'm not sure. I have got this skeptical hippo eyes. I'm not sure what's going on, but I absolutely hated it. Like I say, it set its stall out with the dialogue. I think there's some good action scenes in it. The werewolves, you know, they should be the big bad, and I think they try and do a good job of it with the lack of budget, and I think they use the practical effects as best they can. I'll give them credit for that, but this is a terrible movie for me. I just think everything about it's rubbish, and having an all British cast, I know it shouldn't, but it just falls flat for me. Nothing hits at all. Sean Bertree is like the lead. He's just fucking bollocks. He's Captain Mandarin levels of fucking leadership. Absolute bollocks. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put this, Dave, in Alderon. It's absolutely terrible. I will never watch this again. And thank God for YouTube. That's all I can say. So what about yourself, Dave?
Well, I don't know what to say. I guess you hate the horror genre. I like this a lot more than you did. It didn't hold up as well as I thought it would, but for a low-budget British movie, and a genre movie as well, so not just doing fucking charming Hugh Grant or something in the mid-90s. So I thought this was good. And I did get surprised about some of the leaps in logic were utter nonsense, and the dialogue is probably the worst thing about the movie that I'd never noticed before. But yeah, I came into this thinking I'd rate it a bit higher, but I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to put it in Hill Valley. I was thinking, in my memory, this was maybe a Pleasantville, but yeah, it just didn't quite hold up. And the fact that looking at the writer, so this Neil Marshall chap, this is the biggest film that he's done by the looks of it, which makes sense. It's not like he went on to do loads of other good things. I think, yeah, this solid movie, but again, just not quite as good as I remembered it.
Well, Dave, thank you again, Matt. Thanks for that, mate. Next week, Dave, is another Patreon pick. Now, this is the original first supporter of one of our podcasts, Dave, and Comics in Motion. It is the amazing Mr. Tony Farine, Dave. Absolute legend of a man. He loves a bit of Roger Corman movies, though, Dave. And obviously, Eat My Dust was what I picked. It was an absolute pinnacle of that. But we are going back, Dave, to 1975. This one stars Mr. Kung Fu himself, David Carradine, Simon Griffith, Louisa Moritz, and Sylvester Stallone, Dave, just before Rocky, and also just after he got his bollocks out in fucking Key and fucking Stud's house, which we've seen many a times, Dave. They were definitely low-hanging fruit. And I've always wanted to watch this one, I must admit, so I'm quite interested.
Low-hanging plums.
Yeah. Right by the looks of it, Dave. He looked like he'd not emptied him for a while. But anyway, Death Race 2000. So I am looking forward to this. And I know there's a Jason Statham remake around the sort of mid-2000s as well, which I've seen loads of clips of but never watched. So I'm interested in this, I must admit.
So I will save the backstory for next week, but I watched this a lot as a kid. And it was one of those that, it's not a family movie by any stretch, but for some reason, it was quotable within the family with my uncles and stuff. But Stallone's character, I mean, it's almost like a comic book movie, if I'm honest. So, yeah, I can't wait for you to watch this one. I'm more excited about you watching it than me watching it. But I think I watched this one in lockdown, so I watched this one fairly recently.
No.
But, yeah.
Yeah, and it's fucking ruined it now.
It's very. It's not most like the remake, if I'm honest. But
I can stop it. Fucking stop it! You're gonna ruin my Saturday now. Stop it. Ruin it. Oh, brilliant! Right, so big thank you, and I'm saying big thank you to Matt Bates. I will say, great pick, mate. Great pick. Mr. Tony Farina, though, again, side-eyed you for next week now after this. Dave, you just ruined my whole week. So, if you want to email us, the VHSstrikesback@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @VHSstrikesback. If you do want to support us like Tony, like Matt, please go over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. So, the roll call of honour, and a big thank you to Nick, Greg, Gareth, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Dan, Justin, Susan, Timothy, Matt, Hales, Ken, Lucky Little Green, Herbs, Jack, Math, Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much. And just as a side note, myself and Dave, and I'll be dusting off the coming out of retirement, Dave, as a guest, because I've not done any guesting on podcasts for a long time, but we are on Spider Dan's podcast soon, Dave, doing a martial arts crossover as well. It's a dual movie review, aren't we, of two movies that, I've not even watched yet, Dave, but I know they're going to be absolutely glorious and I'll probably hate everything about them. Well, there you go.
Whereas for me, this is right in my sweet spot of Hong Kong 70s fucking martial arts that is absolutely amazing. And again, a bit like Death Race 2000, I can't wait for you to watch them. But this will be, so Snake in the Eagle's shadow and going up against the Drunken Master. Yeah. So it would be a great discussion. Can't wait to have a chat to Dan about that. And actually, I saw Dan had posted in the Patreon Discord chat, and he's mentioned about another David Carradine 70s movie, Cannonball. And I was like, should I say there might be another one similar coming up like this? But I thought that there's no way to give away. There's no way I could say anything without giving away Death Race.
Yeah, Death Race.
So I thought I'll keep it spoiler free, and then it'll be when this episode comes out.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. So yeah, good to see you soon, Dan. So I'm looking forward to that, to be fair, to have a good laugh. So Dave, what musical masterpiece have you got to save my feeling at the moment over this absolute nonsense movie we just reviewed?
Let's see, before I get into the music, I will just say, if you are in the UK, and if for any reason at all, you need to find a VPN to appear in another country that is not in the UK, then check out our show notes, and we've got a referral link. So I don't think we've had a penny from it, to be honest, Chris. But
we will do soon, though, Dave.
I'm expecting a flooding of subscriptions, but you get it a bit cheaper. I think it depends when you listen to this and when you click on it. But I think they've usually got offers on and stuff, and it helps us out a little bit as well. So yeah, if you don't want to type in your age verification while you're trying to reverse cowgirl on the toilet,
how dare you?
Then sign up to NordVPN. And
you got me thinking. I've not done that for years, babe. I don't know. I'd probably pull my hip out if I tried that now.
But anyway, Chris, so for the musical number, I was in we're in the Scottish Highlands here, and the dog soldiers are here, so I was very much in the Celtic mood, so Scottish, but also, Irish as well, and I was thinking, a bit of the Proclaimers maybe, so I think in terms of the lyrics, I've gone for something called I Want to Fight 500 Wolves. So here we go. And I tell you, this is a foot stomper, this one. So let's go for it.
Like around your knock at a wee tater town, but Smarties in the Highlands who went through hell. It started with a mission just to jog through the trees, but they found something waiting with claws and teeth. And I read me plenty on his teeth and so. But then the howling came and the trees were still. We ran like hounds in that bloody hell. I wanna fight 500 wolves, and I wanna fight 500 more, just to be the man who kicked the furry asses back at the cottage door. Took refuge in a house that was deep in the glen. We saw it on the bars and get me some gin. The lassie said they're not done, they're cursed and bone. And one smashed the window with a haunted howl. Shot them, we stabbed them, we set them in the light. We turned up in the fridge and gave us all a fright. The sides that for these bloody fought like that. Shot a blade on his gun and said, "Trail by death!" be the man that kicked the furry horses back in the cutting stone. Well, Pullman swatching up at the side, and the sheep under me, they got nowhere to hide. When he's even bourbon and guts and gold bottom quarantine swinging, that's for sure! Just to be the man who kicked the furry horses back at the cottage door. And I wanna fight for funded wolves, and I wanna fight for funded law. Just to be the man who kicked the furry horses back at the cottage door.
Very good, Dave. Very good. To be honest, I didn't want to kill werewolves. I wanted to sail the seven seas, I think, Dave. That was great. It's a good one, that.
It is. You can imagine being on the lower decks of the Titanic, maybe. So we still haven't done that one, have we? But yeah, sort of bopping up and down to that one. You can imagine just being in a pub with the band playing that one. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, good one, mate.
But Chris, well, I didn't know you would quite have this reaction, even though it was a horror movie. So I guess I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. But I can't wait for next week. That is all I will say. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there, and thanks to all our supporters. And I'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go.
Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid. Yeah, maybe you're stupid. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I've seen you at 6.